Land of Enchantment, coming to you here from New Mexico. Apologize for some of the technical difficulties I've been having with this live stream. It's been going to vertical and I wanted it on horizontal. So got it working good now. But yeah, man, it's kind of a nice, perfect evening. I've got a sunset going down in the background there. And anybody who can guess where I'm at this evening receives a special prize. I don't know what that is yet. So yeah, I've just been traveling around southern Arizona, and I'm going to be actually from here. I'm actually heading back into Arizona. Gonna go back to the Chiricahua. I think I pronounced that correctly. I had to watch a YouTube video by living in Arizona now, Jeff. I had to listen to one of his videos and listen to the way he pronounced it. But I want to go back to Arizona, back to southern Arizona, the Chiricahua Mountains, and there are some campgrounds in there around Portal, that area, and I would really like to go and check those places out and do some hiking in that area and see what it's all about. It just looks amazing. And after going up to Bisbee, that really made me want to go and explore the area a lot more. And so yeah, that's what I got going on. I just thought I would come and talk this evening while I've got some light left, and just chat and touch base and say hello to you guys and gals, and thought it would be fun to go live. So if you got any questions for me, let me know how I can serve you, and let me know. Not a whole lot to entertain you with here, but it is a beautiful little spot that I'm in, kind of right off the interstate. And again, if any of you can take a guess of where I am, do something special for you here. So here we go. This is where we're at. So what kind of questions do you guys have? Trying to think of some topics to chat about. Any questions? We got Stuck Camping. Roland, what's up, man? Hey, how you doing? How you doing tonight? How are you doing tonight? Where are you checking in from tonight? Used to watch your videos all the time back when you were in the truck camper. Yeah, the old truck camper. Yep. Well, I tell you what, I miss my truck camper right about now. I sure wouldn't mind having another truck camper. Instead of dragging my big rig around that I have. Although it's super comfortable, it's super spacious, and it's nice to be able to carry everything that I own with me, tools and that sort of thing, working on projects. But yes, the truck camper days were a lot of fun, and yeah, I have had, trust me, man, I've had thoughts about getting another truck camper. Maybe packing, putting this one into storage, getting another truck camper, because it's just being able to be mobile. It literally just takes the brakes off of everything, and you you can just do a lot more. You can see a lot more things. Yeah. Utah. Okay. Awesome, man. Yeah, I was up there, up that way last summer. I was in St. George for about 3 months. I spent the summer up there. Didn't do much. I was just hanging out. I was considering relocating to the St. George area, and I found a really nice RV park that I stayed in. I want to say Leeds. It was up in, not Leeds. Oh, geez. It was just a little bit, it was in the Hurricane area, north of Hurricane. Really nice little park. But yeah, man, that's cool. What RV are you in these days? I am in a 2006 Desert Fox 24-foot toy hauler. It's a great rig. I really like it a lot. And I was the other day, I was just for the heck of it, I was just browsing to see what the used marketplace was for this camper, and there's hardly any for sale right now on the market, and especially in the length, the size that I have. It's a 24-foot, and so, which is a really good thing. They don't come up for sale all of the time. They're very popular in the Northwest, Oregon, Washington. Yeah, they're pretty desirable rig. And but yeah, I really like it. I'm the third owner of it, and it's nice and tall inside. I can stand up in the shower. It's just no slide outs, so don't have to worry about damaging anything and dealing with the issues that come with having a slide out. See, do you find a mix of hauling toys and living area to be inconvenient? Yeah, I mean, it's these toy haulers, the way that they're designed, unless you have a garage, okay, if you've got a garage, which is what? A garage is an area that is, it's been partitioned, or it has a separation between the living quarters and the garage. So most toy haulers don't have that. So what you have is you've got the issue of the smell of fuel. And so anyways, this setup I have, it works great because I only have one toy, the Banshee, and I just load that up into the back of the pickup, and I carry it around to the back of the pickup, which is fine. But yeah, do I like it? Well, I love the rig as far as the utilitarian aspect of it, and then with the ramp, the rear ramp door in the back, it just makes it super easy to move things in and out of the rig. And so, I mean, it's basically an enclosed trailer that has been fully built out into a camper. It's basically what a toy hauler is. It's like a car hauler, type trailer. But it's, yeah, it's super heavy duty. It's got I-beam construction on the frame, and it's built, very strong. But I was talking with another person here on YouTube, and one of the ideas that I came up with that I would really like is or I thought of, which was getting like a box van with maybe a lift gate on the back, and then tow this camper trailer, toy hauler, behind it with that. And then the box van would basically, haul all of the toys and everything around, and essentially be the garage, if you will. But for full timing, this setup, it's not the best. I'll kind of say that, for hauling the toys and everything around. If I had a garage, okay, with this rig, it would be better. Now, the trade-off with that is the trailer would be longer than what I have now. Like I said, this trailer is only 24 feet long. So it's very easy to maneuver around parking lots and that sort of a thing. Absolutely love that. Um, so, here we go. It's like back to a truck camper, like a truck camper and an enclosed trailer. I've thought about that. But I originally bought this rig because I wanted to live in it full time. And it is a great full-time rig, being spacious inside. And also, it is insulated very well. But yeah, in this business of I'll just call it, hauling toys, transporting toys, motorcycles, ATVs, sandrails, muscle cars, whatever it is, the tried and true way of doing it has always been motorhome, Class A, Class C, towing an enclosed trailer, and so that works well. I've been in love with my truck, my Dodge Cummins 12 valve truck, since the day I've gotten it, and I still love it. And so that's, part of the reason why I've just chosen to, try to, do what I have. But with the truck camper, a truck camper for full-time living, if you're going to like be stationary someplace for, a long time, like a couple of years, something like that, it's not very ideal. It's, you just don't have the comfort and capacity and space. So that's the trade-off with the truck camper. So now, okay, this is the last thing I'll say. The latest idea that I had, and I'm still thinking about this idea, it's getting another truck camper and keeping this enclosed trailer. To me, that would probably be the best of both worlds. And if I got like a 9'6" truck camper, I could still pull my toy hauler with that, as far as the weights and everything go and the power. But to me, that would kind of be that would be a good way to go, because then I could just put this toy hauler into storage, and then I'd have the truck camper to move about freely and go where I please, and have the ability to kind of not have to haul all of my crap around. So anyway, so I've kind of rambled on there for a while, but so yeah, you're asking about travel plans. Man, it's still up in the air. Well, not up in the air. It's still undecided at this point. The jury is still out. If you've been watching a couple of my past videos, I did talk briefly about things that I'm thinking about currently here. I have been thinking about settling down, and so I've been, considering pretty much Arizona, Florida, or Nevada. So maybe like northern Nevada. I don't know. It's all kind of possibilities at this point, but I've been doing a lot of research, a lot of study, a lot of thinking. Some of these places I have lived in, but there's pros and cons with everything. And Florida, for myself, there's a lot of cons with Florida, but there's some things that I'm excited about as well. And part of my thinking with this is like a 3 to 5 year plan, where like, look, this isn't going to be for the rest of my life. I'm just looking to do something different, move somewhere, and just give it like 3 to 5 years to, potentially start a business. I've been thinking about different businesses to start. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking about right now. But I'm really, I guess, I'm really leaning more towards Arizona. But the challenge I'm having, the challenge, this is the biggest challenge I'm having with this whole notion and idea of just like settling down somewhere for a while and, being static, if you will, not snowbirding. It's living in the RV full time. It's not really looking like, it's not really the best option. It's not really, it isn't going to work. Like if I'm going to be down here in southern Arizona, it's going to be too damn hot in the summertime to be in that rig. Even if I upgrade and get a mini split, which I've been thinking about doing, the heating and cooling, a mini split, it would be super efficient. I could run it off of solar panels. you know, you're dealing with that kind of extreme climate a bit, and you're dealing with that anywhere, and that's why I always fall back to snowbirding, because to me, I mean, snowbirding is freaking, it's great. It's freaking amazing. I mean, if you like summer, I'll just call it 12 months out of the year, you like 12 months of summer, well, then you should be a snowbird. Okay. That's what you need to do. And so I do like summer and I like good weather. And I'm not really a big fan of bone chilling cold. And I've experienced some of it. I lived in Tonopah, Nevada. For about 2 months in October, November, December, a couple of years ago. I took a truck driving job for a very well-known corporation, I'll just call it, for a short time. And I ended up pulling out of Tonopah, but I'm bringing it up because I lived in a really cold place in the winter, and it really sucks in an RV in these extreme kind of temperatures, trying to either stay hot, stay warm, or stay cool. Energy costs is what I'm talking about. So, I had like a $200 or $300 electric bill when I was up there, and I'm like, this is not going to work. I need a wood stove. I need something like this. So these are the problems that you run into with, full timing in a rig and being static somewhere, which I really don't like doing that anyways. I mean, I don't like living in RV parks. It's just not my thing. I mean, I love what I'm doing right now, which is just being a free spirit, a nomad, a runabout, a drifter, whatever you want to call it. And I love this. This is great, man. Because I'm footloose and fancy free. I'm not tied down and everything, and I love it. And it's great, mentally and everything. I really enjoy it. What I'm doing and all this. But just parking it at an RV park, that I really don't like that. So okay, so I went way off on that tangent. So the settling down thing, it's probably going to be putting that into storage and getting doing a room share. I don't like apartments. So anyways, that's kind of what I got going on. Hey Jason, how you doing? Saying hello to a few of you guys here this evening. I appreciate you guys watching, coming on. Happy Sunday to you. Hey Ben, relocate to Omaha. You're in a very interesting situation where deciding where to live. Yeah, I mean I'm fortunate and blessed to be able to have the means to travel around and look at places and see things and do things, which I really feel like if you are going to move somewhere, you're thinking about moving somewhere, you really kind of need to do that first, go through that process before plunging in and moving somewhere. But as I said, I've mentioned Florida, but there's a lot of cons with Florida. And but I mean, to me, I'm kind of, I guess some of the pros are outweighing the cons, as far as if you think about a scale or a seesaw. For me, I think the pros are kind of outweighing it a little bit, but I think the shock, and this is kind of what the vibe I'm getting from Florida, the shock that I think most people have is the cost of living in Florida. And yes, there's a lot of opportunity, but so you got to be hustling, and you got to be, I think if your plans are to go there to make money, to prosper, and have some dreams about, prosperity, okay, and doing well for yourself and making a good living for yourself and making money, because to me, the opportunity is there to do that. There's plenty of money in Florida, okay, for whatever. Yes, there's going to be lots of competition too. All of the people that have moved there, that means more competition. So anyways, I've just been pondering and thinking about all of it. But the weather definitely has a lot more cons than, say, Arizona or Nevada. Bugs, humidity, which is kind of my two biggest peeves I have. I think the bugs and the humidity. Like right now, I'm sitting here in New Mexico right now. It's a dry climate. Oh man, it's nice. I love it. Like it's beautiful, you know. But there's a lot of poverty around, around here where I'm at right now. But which is sad. I don't like to see. But anyways, it's a rural. It's a very rural area. I'll see who else haven't I said hello to tonight. Hey, thanks, Stuck Camping. Appreciate that. I appreciate the support. I really do. It's I appreciate the support. And I've kind of come back to YouTube because I just feel like this isn't something that I can quit. Like I've quit a lot of things in my life. And if there's some things that are just, you really, you just can't quit. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, that is success, like in a nutshell, man. Like, and it's not even about like, if you want to be successful in anything in life, you just have to keep going the distance, man. You can't quit. And you just got to keep figuring out how to get better, man. So anyways, so that's kind of like, I think part of the reason why you're seeing me more is, like I've got to, like, you just have to push. You just got to keep pushing through and pushing through and pushing through, man. And eventually what's going to happen is you're going to win. You're going to win, man, because why are you going to win? I'll tell you why. Most people quit. They get this close to winning and then they quit. So that's a little bit of success talk in a nutshell right there. Ben, I'll help you find a deal on property in Omaha. Yeah, man. Find me some commercial property up there for a good deal, man. Like, take over find me some subject to deals up there, some subject to the financing deals, and we'll partner, man. We'll be partners. We'll partner up on it. Florida, the best weather, I think. Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Florida, it's the vibes. Florida's got great vibes, man. Like if you want, there's a lot of people that move there because they're like me and they're like you, like they don't want to just, they don't like mediocrity. They want to do something with their life. They want to change. They want to improve. They want to get better, and Florida attracts a lot of those kind of people, which sets off a vibe, for the place. Now, and I really shouldn't say that because I haven't experienced it personally. I have a friend that's living there. He's probably watching this right now. He moved to Florida, doing real well for himself and really likes it a lot. And he's always, telling me about, the opportunity there and all, and, just a lot of things, so anyways, I pick it up, but Florida, I think, it's got some good vibes, it's like, I can't say that for other places. Arizona, Nevada, whatever. I mean, like, I think there's pockets of that, but anyways, it's kind of whatever it's whatever you're looking for. And we're all different. We're all a little bit different, and we're all, at different stages and points of our life. We're looking for different things. I know I've experienced that. I mean, I lived on the Oregon coast, in a small town for a few years. And, I loved it when I was there. And then I think eventually I outgrew it. And I wanted to change. I wanted to get around some different energy, some different vibration, and that's the thing that, when you get a little bit of a taste of being a nomad, traveling around and you really kind of, and I really haven't let loose, man. Like, like I give the credit, credit due. I mean, the OG, man, the original gangster of van life, Mr. Adventure Van Man. I mean, that's a guy who's really been around. He's traveled around a lot. And I always joke, like when I first met Brian in 2016, like I was in California. I'm going to kind of give the analogy, but when I met Brian, like, and we were talking and stuff, like, I was in California and Brian was like all the way over in, Missouri or somewhere. Like he was ahead of me quite a ways, like as far as the thinking and the mentality and like the fear and uncertainty, and I don't know, man. Like, he was a few miles down the road from where I was. It took me a few years to kind of catch up. Anyways, but I'm not comparing myself to him. But anyways, shout out, man, to Brian if you're watching. So huge inspiration. Jeff, we got CTAP 1. What's happening, Jeff? Did you figure out your payload capacity on your truck yet? Yeah, I'm probably am in a witness protection program. Yeah, the sun is going down and the phone is not liking it. So I'm going to end up probably closing this stream here very shortly, very soon. What passive income do you have going on right now, if you don't mind sharing? I am an investor in a commercial property in Missouri right now, and I've received some income from that. We've got very difficult to find a spot with perfect year-round weather. I'm kind of thinking about a place in Havasu. Yeah, I was talking to a friend of mine the other day and was like, if I could wave a magic wand, if I could live anywhere, where would I want to live? It probably would be Alpine, California. Alpine, California. It probably would be somewhere around there, out in the hills and the mountains of Southern California. That's probably where I would want to be. Just because it would be close to the sand dunes, and I just think the weather there is amazing. But they've got fire danger and forest fires a lot in that area. But no, I mean, if I could wave a magic wand, I mean, I probably would have a place here, I'd have a place over there, I'd have a place, like a lot of these, multi-millionaire YouTube influencers we see. They got houses in North Idaho, they got a house over in California, over on, the beach over there, Pacific Palisades or whatever. They got, San Diego down there, so yeah, I mean, that's kind of like where I would live, but I wouldn't want to, I don't know. Anyways, that's my little joke on that. Where would you like to live? Where would you like to live? I'm going to shut the live stream down, guys, at 30 minutes in, because I'm losing some daylight out here. So I started off the live stream tonight asking if anybody could guess where I'm at. I'm kind of outside Lordsburg, New Mexico. That's where I'm at. This is so fun, 12.5, man. You can haul a lot of crap around with that truck, Jeff. A lot of stuff. You can haul a lot of stuff around. Thanks for the thumbs up, everybody. I really appreciate it. If you'd like to see more live streams, give it a thumbs up, man. It tells the algorithm that this is I don't know. It tells the algorithm something. It pushes it up into the interwebs. There we go. Thank you. Appreciate that. Whoever did that. I'm just reading through all your guys' comments. So anyway, you're kind of thinking of a place in Havasu, Lake Havasu. Yeah, I mean, Havasu is really cool because, like, I mean, if you're a motor person, if you're a motorhead, if you're a gearhead, like, Havasu is an awesome place to be, man, because there's always something motorhead, gearhead going on there. You got boats, you got boating stuff going on, like the badass of the badass boat, marine, like everything going on is happening there. You got the off-roading stuff going on, you got the side-by-sides, you got the races going on in Parker, you got the car shows, you got the Volkswagens, you got the, you got all that stuff going on. It's right there in Havasu. So yeah, I like Havasu a lot. It's just, it is super hot in the summertime. So super, super hot in the summer. A coastal town in Oregon would be nice, but wait, you've been there. Yeah, I have been there and I've done that. I've seen the coast. I've done the coast. I mean, I even spent time in, I haven't even shared this much too, but I lived up in Long Beach, Washington for a little bit. I spent some time up there in Long Beach, and I worked up there for a brief time. I got to kind of know that area up there a little bit. And then I got to know the Oregon coast really well, and yeah, and it was great. Like, I loved it. I mean, it was a lot of fun. But I have, I've moved on. I've kind of changed. I've grown up a little bit. I've got to see the world a little bit, and desert life. It resonates with me well. I like desert life. However, I can also understand how people who have lived, and I've heard this too from people who've lived in the desert for ever and ever, a long time. They're like, I want to go move to where it's green. I want to go move to the Northwest. I want to go move to Arkansas. I want to go move to where the weather is, there's water. And like, I can understand that too. Like, I like the desert because I grew up in in Washington State, and where it rains all the time and the weather is shitty. I don't know. I mean, like 9 months out of the year, the weather isn't that great. And you come down here to the desert and it's like, you got 8 months of like really nice weather down here in the desert. Like, and it never rains. And it's like, so I've basically gone polar opposite from what from what I'm used to. And so, I don't know. I mean, it's just been like a really nice change for me. And there's other changes as well. I'm not going to get into all that stuff, but weather wise, it's just been like a really nice change for me. And I'm hoping that for you too. I'm hoping that, you too get out there and, try living in some other places for a while. And, if you've kind of been thinking about moving places, like, just go check it out, go travel there. And I don't know, just go get in your car or whatever and just go check it out. Sleep in your car. If you don't have a lot of money, sleep in your car, sleep in your truck. You don't have to have an RV to go travel around. I mean, you could just get a car and some tents, a couple of, a good tent, a sleeping bag or whatever, man, and just take your car, like, all you need is an internet connection and a smartphone today. It's all you need, like, you can do anything you want. You can connect with people like me, and we can meet up on the road and we can do stuff and hang out and, share stories. You can always do truck driving as a fallback and make quick, decent money. You have a hazmat endorsement too, which is valuable, lets you live footloose and fancy free. Well, I've already gone over 30 minutes, but we'll keep going here because I guess you guys can still see my face. Yes, I have that. I got my CDL, not getting rid of that. I've actually been, what I've been interested in getting into is propane, the propane business, hauling and delivering propane. I think I would really enjoy doing that because it's, daylight hours and you are serving people. You're talking to people all day, which is not what I was doing when I was hauling fuel. I was just in a lot of isolation when I was, trucking and hauling fuel, and it just didn't do me well, the isolation part of it. So if I could get into a gig that would be more, more people kind of orientated, that would be awesome. But the propane thing, I've been thinking about hauling propane, and this is why Florida, back to Florida, there's a lot of propane driving jobs in Florida. So I guess, Florida, they sell a lot of propane. Propane is a fuel and energy source that they use a lot of propane or in Florida. So that would be a sweet deal if I could get into that, and then I could work a side business on the side and get something else going. Like still doing this YouTube channel, but doing some other stuff like real estate related that I spoke about before. I've got all kinds of business ideas I've been thinking about, but that's going kind of onto another rabbit hole. But I've been really studying the junk hauling business as of recent, the junk hauling business. I already own a pickup truck, so like I could use my truck to start like a junk hauling business. And there's great money to be made in that when you're in a good market for it. So yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, the truck driving thing, it's, you know, it's cool, you know. I mean, trucking is kind of a double-edged sword. Now, what I'm going to say is that the problem I have with trucking is, like, if you've, like, I've been off the road now for like, it's about 3 years. You know, I've had a couple of jobs in between, like, but they were kind of some short-term stuff that didn't last for very long. And the problem with when you get out of the seat, the driving seat, like, as I have done, a lot of companies, you know, they look down on that, and they, you know, you can have some trouble getting hired again. And you kind of need to get to know somebody, but I have a clean record and everything. But nonetheless, it's the one gripe I have about this industry slash career. You know, it's like, if you want to take breaks, because you can make decent money in trucking if you know what you're doing and you're smart and you choose to haul the right freight. You know, like, in my opinion, if you want to do trucking, you should be hauling hazardous materials. Okay, the end. All right, why? That's where the money is. Okay, the money is in hazardous materials. All right. Yes, there's other stuff you can do, heavy haul, you can do, you know, but if you don't like hazmat, you've got to get into specialized freight. Specialized freight, that's where the money is, okay? And as far as I'm concerned, you get into trucking to make money. Okay, that's why you get into trucking. If you like driving and you love it, great. But as far as I'm concerned, you get into trucking to make money. All right, make money, and then you take that money and you make investments. You invest it into real estate, okay, and you make and you get yourself some passive income, some mailbox money. Okay, that's the game plan. All right, guys, I am losing daylight out here, and I'm going to shut it down. It's been great chatting with you guys. And if you've got some topics that you'd like me to cover, talk about, show, I would be happy to do that. Please comment below. And until next time, I will see you guys on the next live stream. Have a good night, everybody.